Hey, hello everyone. Welcome again to another LazyArquitecto live stream where we teach you AutoCAD in a way that it's more productive so you can stop wasting your time. As always, we show up here each Friday at 10 a.m. and that is the time in Pennsylvania in the United States. So if your time is important, consider join us each Friday because we are gonna be here sharing a new AutoCAD task, a new way to streamline a task again in AutoCAD. So with the entire goal again to make our lives easier when we work in AutoCAD. So yeah, so let me start over here. Let's see over here. Let me start getting ready for today's presentation, which is gonna be awesome. We're gonna create a custom command in AutoCAD again to simplify a task, in this case a viewport task. Okay, so let me start getting ready. Let's see. Presentation. Okay. All right. Okay, so let me go and again start preparing for today's presentation. Let me see. Okay. Right. So let me see, let me check this viewport over here. All right. So I guess we're ready to start. As always, we're gonna have some time to do some Q&A by the end of the presentation. So if you have a question, maybe a task that is taking you a lot of time, you can always ask here during the live stream and you'll get answer in real time. All right. Okay, so let me jump to the presentation and let's start. All right. So okay. So last week, working on an architectural drawing, I got inside my viewport by double clicking on it to change some notes. The problem was that since this viewport was not locked, I had to manually fix my position or the position of my drawing, again, fix the scale to whatever scale it was, and so on. So it was a mess. Now, this is a common problem in AutoCAD. So again, to avoid this common problem, we're gonna create a custom command today that is gonna help us lock or unlock all of our viewports at once. Alright, so you'll never face this problem again, because we are used to work with multiple viewports, and most of the times we forgot to lock them, to unlock them, and so on. So let me go ahead and start today's presentation then. Alright, in order to do that, there are a couple of ways to create a custom command in AutoCAD. One way is using the command macros palette that AutoCAD provide us, and it's specifically for this case to create custom commands. However, not many people might have that, and in that case we're gonna use our tool palette. Everyone have the tool palette, and we've been creating so many commands here on the channel with you. So for today we're gonna use again the tool palette again. So we can drag anything to the tool palette, maybe just this single rectangle, and just release it like so. So once we have that, we can go ahead and right click and go to the properties. Over here on the properties, we can name our new command. In this case, I'm gonna call it Lazy Viewport Lock. We can add a description. This command will lock all of your viewports with a single click. Something like that. That's all up to you. You can even specify an image by right clicking on it and specify or browse an image that you might have. You might download one icon from the internet. In this case, I'm just gonna pass. And over here, the important part is the command string section. Right now it's lock, but it is because we need to change the use flyout to no. That way we are able to tweak and modify our command string or macro. So I'm going to erase this P line, because again, that's in this case, since we drag the rectangle, it was a polyline. That's why the polyline is showing up. So I'm going to erase the polyline command. I'm going to leave this character because this means we are going to use a command. This knows AutoCAD that, hey, a command is coming. But what command should we start with this macro code? First, let me click OK to save the changes. And there is a command here in AutoCAD called Viewports. Now, if you don't know anything about this command, I'm going to press enter. And you can see that there is a viewport dialog box or window over here. So in reality, when we create custom macros or commands, we 99% of the time or 100% of the time try to avoid dialog boxes or windows. We want to run the command that we create in macros from the command line. So then this command won't work. So I'm going to cancel that. And I'm going to try again ports for viewports. Now, when we viewports. So you can see also this command has different versions, the plus version, the minus version. So what we're interested in is this minus version viewport. That's basically running the same command, but on the command line over here version, not dialog boxes or windows. So I'm gonna use that and you're gonna see the difference. This time there's no windows or dialog boxes. All of the options are here in the command line, and that's what we want for a macro. So there is an option here to lock, that would be L. So remember that option. So if we press L again, that's the blue highlighted letter, we can also type the entire word, but for macros it's a good practice to keep the code short. So I'm gonna type L and press enter, and then there's more questions. Viewport view locking. So is that on or off? In this case we wanna say on to lock it. So in this case I'm gonna press type on and press enter. Now there are more questions. So now the question is to select the objects. Now in this case I don't want to select my objects, because if I select an object I'm gonna have to select one by one, and I want automatically to lock all of the viewports at once. So in this case I'm gonna use the word all to select all of my viewports. In this case I'm gonna press enter, and you can see that even though we pressed enter to accept, AutoCAD still asking us to select objects. Well, we already did it, so I'm gonna press enter, and now you can see that we are finally out of the command. So let me check, and yes, all of the viewports has been locked. Now how do we translate this into our macro code and make it even better? So let me show you. So let's go back to the properties, and remember we use the command line version of the command Viewports, and we accepted it with an enter. An enter is a semicolon here on the command string. So once we started that command, do you remember what AutoCAD asked? Well, it asked for multiple options, but we were interested in the lock option, and for that we said L, and we did press enter. And after that there was more questions. So from what I remember, there was also an on or off options, and we said on, of course, to lock the viewport, and accepted it with an enter. After that, AutoCAD asked to select the objects, and since we wanted to select all of our viewports, we used the all option and accepted it with an enter, right? Now AutoCAD kept asking questions to select the objects again, but since we already did it, we pressed another enter. Now let's click OK to test what we did so far, which is a good practice. When you create macros, you don't want to keep adding and adding characters and then realize nothing is working. It'll take you more time to figure it out where is the problem. So let me test it. Let me select a couple of viewports and unlock them, and let's see what's going on. So let me go and test the lazy viewport lock. Let's press on it and let's check. Nope, something is not working correctly. Let me try one more time. And yes, so I didn't click correctly. So the viewports are now locked. Let me check this other one, and it's also locked as well as this other one. Great. Now, but I see immediately a big problem. How will I know that my command worked, right? There's no way for me to figure it out. I'm not gonna manually check all of my viewports one by one to make sure they're locked. So there gotta be a way to know that. So let's go back to the macro command, and let's add this small piece of code. Let's open and close a parenthesis, and inside we can use an alert. An alert is simply a message, and we need to write our message in these quotes or quotation marks. So we can say something like all viewports have been locked. That's all up to you, but that's a message that I would like to use. So once I click OK, and let's go ahead and select some of these viewports to unlock them and test our command. As you can see, they are unlocked, and let's unlock this one too. All right, so let's go ahead and test our lazy viewport lock command. So let me go ahead and click on it, and this time I know that all of the viewports have been locked, because once I click OK or press enter, you can see that all our viewports indeed were locked automatically, which is great, right? Now, what about if I want to unlock all of my viewports? Some people might ask that. So let me show you. That would be very easy now. So you can see all of the viewports are locked now. So what we can do is simply copy our command and paste it. We right click and select paste. All we gotta do is go to the new command properties by right clicking on it, and we can just change the lock for unlock. And all we gotta do is very simple. Change the on to off, and of course the alert to unlocked. So all we did again is change the off option now in this case for the viewports command. So I'm gonna click OK. And as you can see, all of my viewports are locked now. And if for some weird reason you want to unlock them, which is not a good practice, but let's say you received a drawing from another person and some of their viewports are not on the right scale and they are all locked, so you'll have to manually unlock them. So now that you create your lazy viewport unlock, you can simply click on it. It says all viewports have been unlocked, and here we go. You can check now that indeed all of the viewports in your drawing are unlocked with a single click. That's awesome, right? Now we could go even farther and change the code to lock all of your viewports in all of your layouts, because you might have, let's say, multiple layouts here, like maybe 3 or 4, and let's unlock some of them. And you're gonna see that once we use the lazy viewport lock command, the viewports that got locked are only on this layout, but if we go to a different layout, you can see that those are still unlocked. So again, we can go even farther with the code to lock all of your viewports in all of your layouts, but that's a topic for another video. So yeah, wait, I already have this tool actually and I share it already with our members. So let me show you. You didn't know about this. So we have a membership, and if we go under collections on our lazy macros, we already shared this tool to lock all viewports and in all layouts. So it's right here, lock all viewports. So yeah, again, we could do a topic, we could do another live stream about that, but if you're interested, it's already there. I already shared it with our members on Patreon. So what do you think so far? Let me know on the chat. Do you think this new tool is gonna save you time in AutoCAD working with your viewports. Just know I use this tool every day at the architecture office where I work. So yeah. Let me see something over here. Let's. All right. If there are no questions, we're gonna stop right here and thinking about our next topic for next week. So let's see. Let me see. Where is it? Oh, right here. Let me see what's going. Okay. So let me start thinking again on our next Friday's topic. We already covered local viewports in macros or with macros. So let me go ahead and move that to published. Door tag auto numbering in ribbon. Yeah, I mean that's another video using macros and blocks with attributes. I don't know if you're interested on that. For some reason there are no comments today, which is strange, but I don't know if it's YouTube or something, but it's strange that none of our friends are alive today. Michael, David, I forgot the other names, but it's yeah, I think we can do something like door tag auto numberings. That would be interesting. Alright guys, I'm gonna stop right here because there are no questions, no comments, which is strange again. So let me give you one more minute, see if somebody has a question. All right. So before I go, I want to tell you something very important. If you ever feel stressful or your boss keeps asking why things take so long, you might not be using the fastest methods. So there's a better way to work. Join our community, the LazyArquitectos, and it's a membership where I share everything I create: macros, dynamic blocks, templates, drawings, with no limits. So if you saw it in YouTube, you'll get full access inside. Check it out at LazyArquitecto.com/members. All right, I'm gonna see you here next Friday at 10 a.m. Bye bye.